Welcome back to the franchise here on the channel. It's Jake Reid, and I'm coming at you today with our Week 4 matchup against the Cleveland Browns. It's in Cleveland this week, so it should be a tough matchup. We've had a tough go of it so far, but we are still coming into this game with a 2-1 record. But first things first, the fans voted. You guys voted on Twitter, and you hit me up and let me know where you think or what you think we should do with Andy Dalton, whether you think we should move on from him and start Will Grier or not. And the majority of you voted, and actually by a wide majority, to get rid of Andy Dalton or at least bench him and move on with Will Grier, start developing him for the future for whenever we are moving to the new city, which will be next season. So that'll be the first thing we're doing in today's episode, and I asked you guys, where do you think we should send Andy Dalton? There are a few QB-needy teams that could certainly use him, those teams being the Washington Redskins, the New York Giants, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Miami Dolphins. There were 4 votes for the Redskins, 1 vote for the Giants, 2 votes for the Jaguars, and 1 vote for the Miami Dolphins. So we're going to go ahead in this episode and try and trade him over to the Washington Redskins. Now, the Washington Redskins are also interested in Williams here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and show you guys that we are receiving offers for a 2nd and a 5th round pick for just Sean Williams himself. And based on the value of what a franchise quarterback is potentially worth, I know Andy Dalton's not the best quarterback. He's only an 81 and he doesn't have a ton of room to grow, but we can expect that if we package these guys together, we can at least get a 1st round pick back in return. So that's what we're going to try and do. We're going to try and go into the Washington Redskins, since they have interest in both, and get at least a 1st round package back for the pair of players. So we're going to go ahead and put in Andy Dalton, and we're going to put in Sean Williams. Now, I'm also considering throwing in one of these linebackers. I just want to put in guys and just kind of see who would go. I know Preston Brown would be likely. No, they don't really want him. They don't really want a linebacker. I got to throw Andy Dalton back in here real quick, and let me see if they perhaps want Malik Jefferson, since he's young. No. Okay, so they're not interested in any of the linebackers. We'll go ahead and go with this. And I did want to go through and scout the players a little bit on this team. I'm not too familiar with too many of them. I don't feel like they have a whole lot that could help us. There is 1 or 2 players that I feel like could come in and play, but we would have to then go and get rid of a couple of our players. So I was primarily looking at some of these corners, but we really don't need corners. So we could potentially play one of these guys at safety. I know Quentin Dunbar is pretty tall, pretty big guy that could play safety, but really we have guys that can plug in and play at those positions. So I don't see a need to get a cornerback in this trade or a defensive back in this trade. I was looking at both Preston Smith and Reuben Foster, even potentially Zach Brown, but Zach Brown's older. Reuben Foster would be nice to get in return, but I feel like that's kind of a cop-out. I mean, they just picked him up, and the Bengals would have signed him in real life if that was actually going to happen. A lot of teams were shying away from him with all the legal issues, so I'm going to go ahead and with this one, I'm just going to shy away from Reuben Foster, and I'm going to focus on primarily just building through the draft. Now, I did potentially consider bringing in a guy like Morgan Moses just as a rotational offensive lineman. Not a big cap hit or anything, but a guy that if you look at his stats, can offer quite a bit to the team. Actually has decent stats all the way around, so it could be a good rotational lineman for us. But I think I'm mainly just concerned about getting the best pick package back that we could. So we're going to go and try and go with I don't really know how to value this. So Sean Williams, they're offering a 2nd round pick for as a 28-year-old. And Andy Dalton's going to be more valuable than Sean Williams, so I'd expect a 1st and a 2nd in return. I'm going to go ahead and ask them for a 1st this year, a 2nd this year, and a 2nd next year, and see if they would be willing to do something like that. I'm not going to go massively crazy on it because we are trying to sell at a bit of a discount here, and maybe they won't even accept this because getting picks off the AI is pretty hard, so let's just go ahead and submit and see what they say. Yeah, so they're not even going to go ahead and give us both 2nds, so if I could try maybe a 1st and a 2nd this year and see what they say for it. Now that's getting us closer. I wonder if there's something we could do. Maybe if we took a 3rd this year, that would put it where it needs to be. 1st and a 3rd, and maybe if we offered something on our side. I wonder what Andy Dalton would fetch by himself, because we might go ahead and deal Sean Williams off by himself for a 2nd. So we have that second round offer for Sean Williams. I wonder if we could get a first just for Andy Dalton. No, so they're not even valuing him at a first. So that would explain why we are where we are in this trade. So I'm just going to go Sean Williams. I'm going to go first round pick. They won't accept a third, but maybe they'll accept like a third next year or something. And if we have to send them a lower overall pick, I don't have a problem with that yet. Okay, so if we offer like a fourth or a fifth in the next couple years, I think that this trade will go through. We're trying to build through the draft primarily in this franchise, so I think this is going to work out for us. All right, so that's the trade. Andy Dalton and Sean Williams are going to go over to the Washington Redskins with a fifth-round pick, and we're going to get a package of a first and a third-round pick back in return for the couple of players. Not going to hurt us too much because Sean Williams hasn't been that much of a presence in the secondary, but that's going to result in me having to go through here and make a couple of adjustments. So we're down a couple of players. I do want to sign, a third quarterback here just to see who's out here. And who might be able to play in our scheme. So who's somebody I haven't used yet? Chad Kelly's somebody that I haven't used a whole lot yet. I'm not really expecting a ton out of whatever player I decide to go with. But I like Tyree Jackson. He's a big guy. I could use him in a bit of a running scheme. And having backup quarterbacks that are mobile is certainly helpful. So I like that pickup there. And then at safety, if there's anything available that could just kind of plug and play as a rotational type of guy now that we made that move. Let's see here. Calvin Pryor is usually pretty decent. Are there any corners that I could sign that could maybe play safety? Quincy Wilson's an interesting one. He's only 23 and he's a 76 overall. I haven't used him yet, so that could be interesting. I use Jalen Myrick a lot because he has 95 speed, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to shy away from players that I use a lot. Let's see what his zone coverage is. 74, and tackling's a 61, 77 hit power. So actually not that bad in terms of safety. So we'll sign Quincy Wilson and adjust him to the safety spot, and then we'll jump into our game once we go ahead and make these couple depth chart adjustments and make sure everybody's situated where they need to be. So let's go to strong safety. We have Monte Nicholson and Tony Brown, and then we also have three guys out here. So Quincy Wilson, your 88 speed will be pretty good at safety. We're going to adjust you to free safety first because we don't want it to automatically plug you in. That'll put you at a 77, which is pretty good. I want to try and start Monte Nicholson because I know he's pretty good. He's got mainly zone coverage skills, and then I believe his hit power is pretty good with 83. So we're going to try and start Monte Nicholson and just see how it goes, but we will also rotate in Quincy Wilson. And then I'm going to take Brian Allen and actually move him over to strong safety. I know this isn't something I necessarily have to do. I can do it in the depth chart, but it helps my OCD just a little bit by having them at the correct spots that I want them to be at. And then I'm going to go into my depth chart real quick, edit it around, make sure it's where it needs to be. Take just a minute here and then jump into the game. One thing I do need to make sure that I do, we're going to stick with Jeff Driscoll as the backup. I mean, I don't mind it. He has 91 throw power, so matches Will Grier pretty respectably. They both have 85 speed, 85 and 86 acceleration. So, I mean, they're pretty similar. They're honestly pretty similar players. So if Grier goes down, Driscoll will be a respectable backup to him. And if he doesn't play well, we have the rookie Tyree Jackson. They could potentially come in and play that spot for him. So then we're going to go ahead and go to free safety real quick, strong safety, so it automatically switched over for us, which is just fine. And then we need to check sub-package linebackers. So Mark Barron, Preston Brown, Vontez Burfict. I don't want Preston Brown in there because of his lack of speed. That's what kind of kills us. Yeah, we'll just go with Burfict for now because we weren't giving Burfict a start at outside linebacker. So that's going to be good to go. So these trade offers, they can get declined, and that's everything we need to do. I don't know if I mentioned this already. I need to make sure that I'm running the correct playbook because I believe last time we ended up in the wrong playbook here because I like to use a custom playbook in my other leagues. It ends up like presetting to that. So we're going to go back to the Rams. And then Baltimore's defense has been working decently for us. So this is what we're going to run with. We're going to run base uniforms, and we're going to go ahead and head to Cleveland and see if we can pick up a win against the 2-1 Browns. So we're tied at 2-1 in the division. The Browns are a very capable foe. I do struggle with them at times. They have a good offense. I mean, they have a good team, so it'll be interesting to see where we can go. And A.J. Green hasn't done a whole lot so far this season. We need to get him involved a heck of a lot more if we expect to be successful. Like I keep reiterating, though, the goal here isn't necessarily to make a deep run. The better picks we have this year, the better, to be honest. And let me go ahead and close this vent above my head so that there's not too much noise because my heater just kicked in. All right, here we are. Who's going to get the ball first? Looks like Cleveland's going to get the ball first. We're going to get a chance to defend, which I don't mind. If we can score off of their opening drive, that's always a good thing. Anytime that they don't score on their opening drive and I score, I count that as a score off of their opening drive. And I always count that as a win. Baker Mayfield going to come out here. He's tough to deal with. He really is. We're going to go with our typical thing. We're going to come out in a 3-4 blitz on first down to try and just stuff the run if they do come out in it. But they might not, so we're going to tell these guys to cover outside just in case. It was an outside throw, just a little curl route of some sort. Alright, so they're going to come out throwing the ball here early. Doesn't bode well for our defense because we have struggled a little bit this year trying to defend against the pass. And we had him in the backfield. That's going to be a holding call, I believe. That's going to push him back 10 yards, which should help us out. We weren't able to get off our blocks on that one. So that'll bring up 2nd and 11. We're going to come with a different blitz, maybe a strong safety. I don't want you to come that way. I want you to come this way. You need to go up here. Njoku is going to be a big target here. I'm going to have to probably start user covering him a bit because I know they're going to try and force the ball to Njoku quite a bit. Anytime I play them, they love to pass to Njoku, and rightfully so. He's a great player. So we're going to spotlight him, and we're going to user Brown in the middle. And I read that wrong. Baker with a nice throw to that sideline. Levi Wallace going to go down with an injury. So good thing we did bring in an extra defensive back. Baker moving the ball nicely so far. Not much I can say about it. I mean, he's just finding his spots, so. Jesse Bates comes up, helps make the tackle. It's going to be not much, maybe a gain of 1. Gain of nothing on first down. Levi Wallace going to have a bruised sternum, won't be able to return for the game, so that's going to be tough. Luckily, we have a lot of versatile guys in the secondary, safeties that can come down and play corner if we need them to, so shouldn't hurt us a whole lot. We're going to use her perfect out here on the edge. Chubb doing a good job breaking a couple tackles here and there, but we're finally able to bring him down, and that's going to bring up 3rd and 9. Excuse me for one moment while I answer my phone.
Look there at the defensive starters for Cincinnati. They were very solid last week in the victory over Baltimore.
And they needed to be, because that game was a game you don't see very often anymore. Low scoring, slow.
Alright, we're back.
One play can make the difference type of a game, and they got it done.
And the line to gain here is the 37.
Alright, so it's 3rd and 9. We're coming out, not the right defense. I messed this one up. We're going to try and just guard the line of scrimmage. I think that's Darquez Denard that made the play on the edge, was able to bat down the ball. Would have been nice to come down with the pick, but we'll get the ball back here.
How about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there.
Alright, we finally adjusted it as well so that John Ross is back returning as opposed to Giovanni Bernard. And blocking the back is going to put us like on the goal line essentially on the 3-yard line. Alright. You're good, you can cross. You're good. Okay. You're fine. John Ross out with an injury too. We're going to have him come back because we need him if we're going to try and actually win this game. We're just trying to run it out of the end zone here, but if we can't maintain our blocks, we're going to have to pass on 3rd down, which is always risky. Joe Mixon able to dodge one tackle, get up over the 17-yard line for a first down. 144 yards last week, as you can see, 276 on the season, so playing pretty well through 3 games. We're going to go with a play action here. I initially had a runner, but I feel like we can get Uzomah open out to the edge. Alright, we're going to try, this one's going to go to AJ Green, coming across the middle, see if we can get him the ball. Oh, Greer throws the ball behind him at the linebacker, or defensive lineman, luckily he didn't catch it. So Greer not having a good day yet. We'll go with the Y cell, see if we could get tight end open going outside, but he's going to have a corner on him, which ain't good. I'm going to put AJ Green on a slant, see if we can hit him on a possession catch over the middle. Finally, AJ Green comes up with a catch. Last week, I believe in the rain, he had like 4, 5, or 6 dropped catches all in a row. We were able to come away with the win, but it really did hurt us. We're going to go play action. I know they're coming with a blitz, so hopefully we can get the play off in time. There we go, and Uzomah's going to get off, break the tackle, get pulled down around the 45-yard line. That one's going to hurt us a little bit. Trent Brown goes down with an injury.
Couple of first downs to kick off the drive. Here's 1st and 10 up at the 46.
We're looking for AJ Green on the out route, but we're going to find Tyler Boyd open underneath. We inked him to an extension. We got him for 5 years. What did it say, like $27 million? So a relatively fair-priced contract for him, for a guy that I like, that I think is going to be a staple for this team for a while. We're going to do the double ghost here and see if we can't get somebody open over the top. We thought we had a man open over the top. We throw it up, but Will Greer going to get called for a fumble on that play, even though I believe his arm is moving forward. So Trent Brown goes down, bruised sternum. That's going to hurt us a bit in terms of pass blocking. And they're going to come out in the... They're going to audible. Nick Chubb breaks the tackle. Not having a good day yet. 3 rushes for 4 yards. But they're doing alright in the passing game. That's been the key for them. They have moved the ball. They just weren't able to punch it in on the last drive, but now they're starting with better field position. I wouldn't be totally surprised if they come out here and really move the ball in for a score. That's going to be the end of the first quarter. 0-0. in Cleveland. Hopefully we can at least have this be a tie game before half, but Chubb's going to break open for a big game. He had a giant hole there, completely unopposed. That's like a 20-yard run.
This is a little bit like baseball here. Strong up the middle. Both sides want to be that. In this case, the offense ended up winning the ultimate battle.
We're going to keep calling some blitzes here and hope for the best. Here we go. D-line's able to break through for a 3-yard loss on that play. That's going to help us out quite a bit. This time we're going to drop back into 3-4. We're going to fake them out. We're going to show blitz, but drop everybody back in coverage. Hope to bait Baker into a pick. And we baited him into a throw, but we didn't have anybody right there drop down in that curl to actually cover him. It's going to be 3rd down, so we're going to try and bring some heat here. We're going to blitz both middle linebackers and try and cover the middle of the field on the user. There we go, and we're able to get the sack, at least force him into kicking territory. I believe that's Josh Allen's first sack on the season, the rookie, our first-round pick, actually coming up big there with a stop that's going to force a field goal. We're going to make it a 3-0 game. Cleveland goes up 3-0 with 3:35 left in the first half. We'll go ahead and get the ball back and hope to possess it for a little bit longer this time. We didn't do a bad job moving the ball. We just weren't able to hang on to it when we got sacked. We're going to go with the halfback ISO here. Maybe just try and power it up a little bit. They appear to be calling a blitz, so we're going to try and throw against it. AJ Green with another catch, being pretty reliable here for Wilker early on. We're going to try and get this out around the defense. I'm not sure this is going to work. That wasn't what I wanted to do. We're just going to have to try and run this and hope for the best. Just get to the edge. Make sure we secure the first down. Keep the ball moving. They want us to keep going with these strong side runs, which I'm okay with if we can keep getting our blocks. I was about to say that our guys have been doing a good job getting their blocks. Okay, that's one negative run, so that's not going to hurt us a whole lot, but our guys have been doing a decent job of getting their blocks offensively. And I should remember that we want to run this ball to the right side if possible because of the fact that Brown just went down with an injury, so Fisher's in to replace him. Uzma sits down in the zone on the pass. Wilker passed it behind him, but that was intentional on my part. We're able to get a first down up over the 43. Putting ourselves in a nice position here to at least hopefully tie this game up before half. Oh, John Ross makes a nice spin move, but this is going to come back, I believe, on a hole. John Ross just made a beautiful 43-yard touchdown, but I think it's going to get called back. Yep, they're zoomed in on our offensive line. And that touchdown's coming back. Billy Price gets called for the holding that was on a beautiful play that was going to give us the lead. It's alright, AJ Green makes up some of the ground, takes us up to the 41. So it's going to put us in a manageable situation here.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
John Ross is always nice to get the ball to underneath because he can make a couple moves and make people miss. As long as he actually secures the catch, usually results in a positive play.
You're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation,
Will Greer going to roll out and get face masked on the play, which should give us a nice... He was going to get like 10-15 yards on that run, but that should give us a nice 15 yards off that face mask. Puts us up at the 20. Now this should give us a shot at the end zone. I'm not sure I like the idea of this route. We'll maybe put Malone on a slant. And Malone gets us up to the 4 with plenty of time to spare, so we're going to try and punch this one in. I think I'm going to try and run it, but I don't know how I want to do that. We have a toss. Toss would be good. It'd be nice to pay off Mixon because Mixon's been doing a good job this game. That's going to take us back. I got hooked on my block on the right side. Cordy Glenn, I believe that would be, was way back in the backfield. We're going to see if we can't get it in on a halfback screen. Do a couple interesting things here in a row. Gio Bernard in for the passing down. Nothing, they read it all the way. Alright, so we're going to have one more shot at the end zone here. We mismanaged this one a little bit. I feel like we still give ourselves a decent shot at putting this in. I'm really looking for Uzma going in. Tyler Boyd got us down to the 4 again. So we're going to call timeout with only a couple seconds left and then kick the field goal to tie it up, go into half here.
Left in this first half, a timeout call.
We're able to put it in. That's going to tie it up 3-3 with 1 second left in the half, so they will get a kickoff return here. We're not going to give them a shot to do anything with it, so we're just going to go sky kick. Kick it towards the corner, and hope that we can cover it.
Now they get to go back in the locker room, regroup, and start over in the second half.
This will be taken in at the 1.
Alright, and that'll take it to half. It'll be 3-3 coming into the second half. We're back here coming at you in the third quarter. We're actually going to get the ball, so it'll give us a chance to take a lead for the first time in the game. John Ross is doing a decent job of breaking some tackles. Takes it up to the 36. I just wish we had some more space there to run with, but we did not. He broke like 3 or 4 tackles on that same play, which was really nice.
With a football first here to begin quarter number 3. They have a chance to break our tie here as we get a look at the first drive of quarter 3.
And it's such a tone setter, isn't it? Because both sides trying to seize.
Oh, and Wilger missed his target pretty badly on that one. We were aiming for AJ Green coming across on the slant from the outside, and that did not work.
So, Charles, tie game here. What are your keys as we continue to play this second half?
I know people think it's always trite when you say the same things over and over, but they're tried and true in the game of football. Who's going to block better? Who's going to tackle better?
We had Uzma open coming across the middle. Wilger not able to hit his target. I figured I'd test it. We haven't thrown a whole lot on the run with him so far, so I figured it was worth a shot. But now we know he doesn't have very good throw on the run ability. Next time we'll take that and just run with it, get the couple yards. AJ Green going to come down with another clutch catch. I don't know what they're going to call on this one. It might be roughing the passer. No, we're going to get called for another hold. Billy Price. That's twice. That might have to result in a benching at some point. We can't have guys constantly getting called for holds like that. We thought we could fit it in there. We weren't able to. Cleveland, Emmanuel Ogba is going to go down with an injury, which actually helps because he's one of their better defensive linemen. We're going to go ahead and punt this ball away. Hope to pin them back there deep. Just play the field position game until we can get the ball back. Oh, we tried to pin him. Ball didn't reach the sideline the way I wanted it to. That's alright. That pins him back. That puts him back at the 20 at least, which helps a little bit. So 5:19 left here in the third quarter. Cleveland gets the ball for the first time in the second half.
Set things up to start a half, and you just tell your guys, hey, if you can shut them down, get it back for our offense, we can roll. And they played out perfectly. Now, can the offense...
Baker's only thrown 6 passes so far.
Find those weaknesses, and now attack them and score some points.
And break this tie.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go, because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Mayfield.
We got coverage there. I think Njoku heard footsteps on that one. Alright, we haven't called it yet. We're going to call man blitz on this one. Hope for the best. Back our cover off a little bit. We pressured. He made a nice throw to the sideline, but I don't think it's going to be enough for them to get the first down. Yeah, it's going to give him inches. He wasn't able to reach it across. Callaway with a nice toe tap catch there on the sideline, though. We're just going to fair catch that one with John Ross because it was a poor punt. That's going to give us good field position here. Alright, so we're going to go... I'm going to start calling a couple plays here. So I want to go with the bunch formation that we have and try and run a dive out of that if we have it. Or maybe this quick pitch will work. We'll go quick pitch over here to the left side. Hopefully we can get the blocks that we're looking for. And we do. And Joe Mixon, I thought he was a little bit more agile than that. We took him out of bounds completely by accident on that one. But a nice pickup, puts us across the 50, gets us in position to score.
But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that, because the defense might be a little bit off balance. He'll pick up another first down with that run. And he takes a shot.
We thought we had a man open, but that's going to be an incomplete pass. We were 10 for 16 on the game. Not doing too bad. We'll go ahead and call it a cross play here. Samuel's open, coming across the middle. Give me 1 second, I'll be back with you guys in a minute.
6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drive,
Alright, we're back here. 3 minutes left in the third quarter. We have the ball, 3rd and 4. We're going to try and give ourselves the best chance here at making something happen. We're going to use our audible here. We're going to put Green on an out route. Uzuma makes a nice traffic catch over the middle. That's going to get us the first down. Extremely low scoring game here, as all of our games have been so far this season. We don't quite have the firepower that I would expect out of a big time contender. Mixon doing a good job getting out to the edge, not out of bounds. And we do have to keep in mind we are starting a quarterback here, a rookie quarterback. So there are going to be growing pains. Luckily, he did have a few snaps yesterday. Or not yesterday, last week, I should say, in the last game. Alright, another 3rd and 3 play. We're going to put Samuel on a slant. We're just going to run a double slants play. Will Greer trying to run. Dives forward for the first down. Takes it up to the 16-yard line. Will Greer doing a good job of making plays here to keep this team in the game. Defense doing a good job of stopping Baker and that high-powered offense over there in Cleveland. Tyler Boyd might be able to get open here. In fact, he was. We just weren't able to fit it quite in where we wanted it to. Here we go with the Y trail here. Try and get A.J. Green the ball again, coming across the middle. A.J. Green with a nice move. Holds onto the ball up to the 4-yard line. I'd like to get Will Greer's first touchdown here, if possible. I think I'm going to turn this into a stretch play. That'll take us down to the 3-yard line. And then we're going to run our mesh play here. That's usually pretty good for getting us scores. So we have lots of options on this play. Both tight ends usually are open at some point. Halfback gets open pretty often. Mixon makes a spin move, but what's the call going to be? Is it going to be another holding call? It's going to be another holding call. Donovan Smith on that one, called for the hold. That's going to bring up 2nd and goal from the 13. Oh, and A.J. Green got absolutely clotheslined coming across the middle. So we might have to get creative here. Try to get somebody toe tapping in the back corner of the end zone. I'm not too sure how confident I am in that. We're trying to hit the tight end underneath, just get a couple more yards. Miss the throw, but we're going to get the field goal here, or we're going to try to at least. It should get us the 6-3 lead. Nope. It's slowed down for whatever reason. We're playing on all Madden. The bar is normally super fast, and then it just lagged. So it's going to be a 3-3 ball game here at the 20-yard line. Cleveland's going to get the ball back. Another tough matchup for us so far. Very defensive game, as most of our games have been so far. We're not doing poorly in any category. Will Greer, with his first true start, is actually doing a nice job passing the ball. Grant Haley's going to get called for a face mask on that one. So 5:33 left in the fourth. Cleveland's going to be moving the ball here. Looking to put up points to get the lead.
So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Cleveland hasn't moved the ball a lot. As you can see, we've doubled their yardage on offense. I'm going to press up on them. See if we can... We did. We made Baker uncomfortable. He tried to roll around the pocket, gets the ball batted at the line of scrimmage. 7 for 10 for only 60 yards. So we're really doing our job, if you ask me, in terms of stopping Baker in this offense. What you really need to do is you need to prevent them from doing much in the passing game. If you manage to do that well enough, they can't do a whole lot. But we haven't done our jobs offensively. So that's what's been hurting us here. There's going to be a flag. I doubt this is a holding. It's probably going to be like a roughing the passer. No, but it's going to be a holding. There's been holdings on both sides back and forth this game, so it's just been a sloppy game. A lot of penalties. I think that's mainly why it's still 3-3 at this point. A lot of penalties. We're just basically holding ourselves back at this point, both teams. They're going to do a draw play. Chubb doing a good job reading his blocks and getting up there to break a tackle. Puts him in a 3rd and 9 situation, so I want to try and dial up some type of a blitz, but I want to dial up something that we haven't done yet. So we're actually just going to go with the... And actually, I do want to do this play. We're going to do man double buzz, which is going to put these guys underneath. We're going to tell our guys to cover outside, but press up on everybody. They're going to make the throw. And I don't know who was on the coverage. Darquez Denard, maybe? Who is that? Jesse Bates, it looked like? No, I don't know who number 22 was on the defense, to be honest with you, but that's another nice play in the secondary. Our secondary doing a great job so far. All right, we're going to try and get this one to the edge. All it takes is a couple moves with John Ross to actually make one break. Too many guys unblocked on that one, though, to actually make it happen. All right, if we play our cards right here, we should be able to kill the most of this clock and score to take the lead. I don't want to put it on my kicker's leg again, because it did not work out the last time, obviously. Giovanni Bernard misses the catch. Alright, so let's see what we got that we can run rushing-wise. Halfback dive should be able to get us some yardage. We haven't run quite as much as I would have expected to originally in this game, and it just got locked into a weird animation running off the tackle there. We should have had the first down and more. Unfortunately, we did not, so it's going to be 3rd and 2. And we're going to try and power it up over for the 2-yard gain here. Joe Mixon, I believe, got the yardage he needed, but that's going to be another face mask, which is going to help us out a little bit. Take us up to the 40-yard line, I'd say. 42. Might hurt us a little bit in terms of taking the clock down, but at least puts us in position where I feel confident we're going to score on this drive. So we need to just keep the chew clock on and do our best to rerun it out. Unless, of course, we don't block anybody. Alright, so I want to go now on this one. I'm going to do a double slant if I can. Samuel, will put you on a slant. We had him open finally, breaking across, but the Jake Fisher, the backup left tackle, in because of our injury, going to give up the sack to J.B. Collins of all people. So I think what we're going to have to do here is we're going to have to try and spread them out, perhaps, and get something going this way. We definitely don't want to put the ball in Baker's hands for a game-winning drive. That would kill us. AJ Green gets us up close to the first down. Is this time to go for it? It's 4th and 5. I say it's probably a good time to go for it, mainly because of the fact that if I punt this ball away, they're going to be thinking the same thing I was thinking. Kill the clock, win the game. If we miss this, they're on a short field. It's going to be tougher for them to kill the clock. There we go. And Debo Samuel trucks forward for a nice gain. And we should be able to keep running clock here, which is beautiful. We were able to pick up the 4th and 5. A very gutsy call here. But it paid off exactly the way that we wanted it to. Tyler Boyd with a nice catch over the middle, and they're going to finally start taking their timeouts here. They're realizing they're in trouble. And I'm going to run the ball on 2nd down here, try and make it an easy 3rd down situation. We tried to truck with Joe Mixon. He wasn't able to make it happen. It'll be 3rd and 4. So this will be an interesting play here. What do we do to try and get this ball where we need it to be? I like the idea of potentially just running it again and hoping for the best with a long field goal. Just making sure we time it correctly. Though then again, we could go with like a play action. I'm just going to run it. And that's going to hurt us. I would go for it again, but we have the opportunity to take the lead, so I say we should. I don't know if this is going to make it, though, with 9-mile-per-hour wind the opposite direction. We got to hope for the best here. I don't know if we have the leg for this. We got the most we could. We got the perfect accuracy. Just barely good. So we're going to take a 6-3 lead over Cleveland with 1 minute left. We are indeed putting it in Baker's hands. to attempt a game-winning drive here late in the fourth quarter with only a minute left, no timeouts on the clock, so we do have that in our favor. Great kickoff return, though. So they've only got to go 68 yards to really make it happen. We're just going to play what we've been playing so far. No need to do anything crazy. I mean, we're going to tell them to cover pass, and we're going to spotlight Njoku like we've been doing the majority of the game. Our secondary is just going to continue to make plays. I believe 22 is Monte Nicholson. We brought in Monte Nicholson to start making plays like that out in preseason. And trading away Sean Williams has allowed these guys to come in and start actually making plays. I don't know who's who. I need to look at the numbers and figure it out because we've had so much turnover. We've got everybody covered. There we go. Force the pass underneath. I'm going to use her Baron. Just tackle them underneath. There's not much they can do. They don't have a whole lot of time. So if they keep passing it underneath, that's good for us. Alright, so 16 seconds left from the 47-yard line. They really just got to get in range for a field goal and spike it. But that means that this is like a quick 2-3 play type of deal right here. So I'm going to be covering the middle of the field. I'm telling my guys to cover the line of scrimmage. And that's not going to do it. That's going to keep rolling the clock. So they're not going to be able to call a play here. They're going to have to spike it. They might not even have time to. And they don't. Baker makes a mistake there, trying to throw to the edge, but didn't get it all the way there. The receiver falls inbounds, and it's going to run out the clock. We're going to get a sloppy 6-3 win here. Will Grier looking pretty good in his first game, 171 yards and a 61.5% completion rating. Joe Mixon not having the greatest game, but we didn't utilize him a ton. AJ Green finally getting himself into the mix, 62 yards on the game, so finally getting himself some yardage, which is nice to see. But we're going to come away with the win in Will Grier's first start. That'll put us at 3-1, but all of them being pretty sloppy wins so far. Go ahead and do our player upgrades quick, and then we'll sign off for the episode. I'm going to want to see if there are any more decisions we need to make that I should have you guys vote on before we get back into the next episode. So I'm going to go ahead and advance to the next week and see if it gives us an option to pick our city. Okay, so it's going to give us an option to choose our city for relocation. If I go into this, I'm not sure if it's going to automatically choose or not. Let me see. So you won't be in your new city yet. So yeah, let's view available cities. So we are at Cincinnati Bengals. So here are our options. We're going to go through our options for relocation here. I'm going to put up a poll online for you guys to let me know where you think we should relocate, but we're going to look at realistic cities for Cincinnati. So we're going to be looking at Toronto is going to be one of the #1 options because the Bengals are actually potentially linked to Toronto if they were ever to move. As well are the Bills. So that's kind of keeping us up in the north where we would need to be. Brooklyn could be a potential option. There are some nice uniforms for these teams, so that's kind of what we would be basing it off on there. But there are already 2 New York teams. That's kind of less of a viable option for us. We could technically go with Memphis just because it's sort of in the east. It's not technically north, but it's somewhere we could definitely relocate to, and location-wise it would still make sense. So we'll go with Toronto and Memphis for sure. Potentially Chicago and Brooklyn, although I'm not sure taking a second team to Chicago makes a whole lot of sense. I know there are articles out there about teams potentially being willing to move to Chicago or an expansion in Chicago, so not entirely false. We could do Columbus, but I'm going to roll that out because we're already in Ohio, so there's not really a whole lot of point to moving down to Columbus. And then maybe what I'll do is I'll put in a write-in option of what team you think, where you think we should go to. We could go to St. Louis, but I don't want to do that because then we'd have to remain the Bengals. But we could theoretically do that if all of you guys wanted to see us go to St. Louis. So that's an option. So I'll put up a poll on Twitter to gauge you guys' interest and see where you want us to go. I'm leaning towards Toronto. I think Toronto makes a whole lot of sense. I think that makes the most sense. But check out that poll on Twitter. Go vote. Let me know with your feedback down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, as always, leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel for more content. I'll see you guys in the next episode.